Okay, so this video, or this video, whatever, what else would it be? This video is on value, um, and we have done a little bit of value in the last practice fundamental, but that was specifically within form and how to tell form better. I mean, this is still really similar, but I call it value because it's less about form and more about the value itself and how do I put value on form. That's what this one is about. So I only have one reference material, which is following this video here by Marco Bucci, and it's a good video. You can go through and watch it. And he talks about the process of, or a really good beginner's exercise, if I can find it here, where you use grayscale to draw or to paint something that you see. And that's something that I'm going to be doing next, and I think it's a good exercise to try out and do. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I've sort of done it a little bit, but this is now officially what I'm doing because I'm making a video about it. So watch this video. He goes through it in more detail. I'll do it. What am I thinking? I'll do a demonstration myself of what I'm going to be doing. But so first, I'm going to collect some, if I can find it, or what I'm going to do is collect a few, some reference materials. The stuff that I'm going to be doing it on is stuff from nature, so like real life stuff, both people and nature, because I like drawing both of those. You can do one or the other if that's what you want to do. And also paintings from other people to hopefully help simplify it. Like for example, I found this painting, self-portrait from Van Gogh, that I'm going to try to do a value study on. Um, so I went through, found a couple portraits, and also got some real reference material, as well as paintings from, I think it's Scott Christopherson or something. I don't remember exactly his name, but he's the artist that Marco Bucci says that he followed from, and I liked his paintings. It seemed like really useful to study and really understand how he himself constructed it. That's what I want to do. And also I'll do it from real life references. But I want to start with one of these, if I can find. Yeah, so one of these ones that I pulled from his website. Um, just to show you or not but the process that I'm going to try to do. So I got my iPad here. And so this is what I'm drawing from. And what I'm going to be doing is adjusting the image itself to take down the saturation all the way so it's grayscale. And that's what I'm going to be studying from. And so what we'll be doing, or what I'm doing in this exercise, is looking at the local values. So like for example, what was that, snow? Yeah, so the snow in here. Oops, edit. Tools, color. Saturation, all down. Okay. The local values meaning one material at a time. So like the snow is its own local light, which is this, or local darkness, which is here. It's in shadow, and a local light. It's its own material. Snow is a different material from, say, the rocks. So they have their own different value schemes. Same with the trees, and the mountains, I think, would be the same value scheme as the rocks, and the water as well. So it's a basic overview of what Marco goes over in his video. And so let's actually do one where I'm trying to, this is really complicated already, but I'm going to try to get it down. That's what I'm going to be practicing. I'm going to get the background to match the sky. A little brighter. And I'm really just trying to focus on value, not looking at color or anything else like that, just value and how shapes seem distinctly different. Like these rocks, you can tell they look different from the trees here, and that these trees actually look like trees, and even though they have just very simple values. Like I see maybe 3 values in here. I see a light value, mid-gray value, and then a dark value, and it still looks like a whole forest, which is crazy. Like I want to learn how to do that, so that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, what do I got here? So I'm going to start with just a simple sketch, just to kind of outline everything. Trying to, excuse me, not state, not, I'm trying to not perfectly copy, but get a similar closeness to the resemblance of this image. So that we got this big kind of section over here, which is like where the mountains all go over their stuff, and then the sky's there. And then the rock shape, but a third in. Something like that. I'm actually going to squish this up because about a third down is where the water is, or a quarter. Something like that. Just something really simple, just getting it outlined. There's also trees all over this and stuff. And I'm going to also try to show the planes too. Like for example, this rock here has a top plane on it that's getting light, and the bottom, or another side plane that's also getting light, and then the back planes which are getting less light, and that's how you. So it's easier to shade it to understand. So with this mountain here, you can only see a little bit. Let me get this smaller, so you can see the whole thing. Well, I can move this over, because what I'm looking at right now is this mountain here, and what I'm trying to do is to show where the planes will be, so that I can paint them better, so I can understand the form better. And it's not 100% copying, it's not what I'm trying to do, just trying to get close and understand how he got those values and not replicate it 100%. And also, since I'm not going to do 100%, I'm not going to do the whole image in this video. I'm just going to do a piece of it to try to keep it simple. And then we have all the snow, and over here we got, if I can move this over so I can see the whole thing, another rock on the left side, massive, absolutely massive rock, all the snow, the boulders. That is a nice boulder. The snow kind of has this line where it's like melted. There's like a rock out in here. And then of course all the trees, which let's hit that later. I guess I can still, since I'm in the sketching stage, I can sketch it out. And then just go into more detail as needed. Just get the basic outline. All right, so now I got my basic sketch. I'm going to try to match the values the same. So for example, for firstly, I'm going to go with this rock here. Try to get that rock. And so I'm going to do the light side first. So it's not quite like white, but it's not like pure white, titanium white or whatever they call it. It's darker than that, but brighter than that. I think somewhere around there. It seems to be a little darker than that, actually. Let me do this. Just to darken this a little so I can separate it from the sky so I can actually use this color because it looks like that's the same color as the sky. It looks pretty darn close there. Maybe a little brighter. Like that. Okay. So I wanted to, before I do this actually, I want to define my planes on the rock, which is what I said I was doing, but I never did. So if I look at this reference, it's like this kind of plane here. It's just kind of wacko. I'm just going to simplify it. I'm not going to try to copy every single little detail, but to just understand the basic shape. You can kind of think of it like geometric shapes, sort of like it's all solid shapes that are simple and easy to get a grasp on. That's what I'm trying to do. And this whole backside is going to be the same value. There's very little detail value shifts that we can go into further detail once we get the basic values in. So this is getting reflected light. Okay, so now we go back to this layer, grab that color, and then fill in the planes that need to be that bright. Trying to keep my shapes somewhat clean. Not like 100% perfect, but just betterly understandable. Better to see them and understand them visually. And they're clean shapes. maybe a little too bright, but that's okay. Yeah, it certainly is too bright, I think. Unless it's just the context. Let's see, once I get this darker value in, let's see. Too dark. Darker. Close. All right. Yes, the white definitely is too bright. So we'll bring that down. Too dark. There we go, that seems a little better. And so what I'm doing here is just breaking it down into simple shapes and keeping it simple. I can, for study purpose, if you're not doing a study, you can do whatever you want and go into as much detail. And you can take a value that's in between these two and fill in a little bit more detail. Like here, for example, where this plane isn't as faced away. Or over here where there's reflected light from the clouds. So I can continue to define it and give it more form and values, more detail as you go. I'm just trying to keep it simple so I can understand it. Otherwise, it's really difficult to understand. Because I struggle with this so much. Like even this is hard for me. But I mean, what else should I expect from that? It's not like art's easy. So it's still terrible, but I think you get the idea where you're keeping it simple and using a few values to understand how they describe their form. Other painters describe their paintings with form. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's the whole point of this. And then, again, on this subject of local values, you choose a different value, say for the snow, than you would for the rock. And for example, I'll go into that right now, where the snow is much, much brighter, where the sun's hitting it directly, than the rock, or at least it appears that much brighter. So you have this whole snow drift thing here. It goes all the way up into the mountains. And you're going to take a different local value for the shadows. It seems quite a bit darker, a little bit darker, something like that. You'll just paint over where the shadow shapes are. Maybe it needs to be a little brighter. Hmm. Anyway, so that's the basic idea, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Also, watch Marco Bucci's video, which goes into more detail. So what I'm going to be trying to do is break things down to simple shapes. It's trust me, it's very difficult and very frustrating to even begin to understand this stuff. So we're in the same boat if you're feeling stressed out too. But if that's what's necessary to become a great artist, then by all means, let's do it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And if you want to join me in this crusade, then let's do it. So yeah, I will see you in the next one.